Hey, good morning.
Hi guys, it's me,
Good
Kathy.
morning.
Hi, Roman.
How you guys doing?
Uh,
Good.
who are you?
That's
Oh, Cat.
that's Roman.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
Kathy. Kathy.
Yeah,
Oh,
Kathy.
okay,
Yeah.
Kathy.
Good morning, everyone.
After a week, I was not
Yes.
sure.
Sorry, I'm busy sharing our video, right?
Okay, well, we had a pre-show and here we were laughing and having a good old time, and then we realized we got to go live. We got to go live. So who's here? Okay, good morning, Dale. Good morning, Dale. Nice to see you guys. All right. This morning we're going to be talking about life as a dog. And for those of you that have looked at your dog so many times and wondering, what is he trying to tell me? I
That's
wonder
it.
what it is. What is he trying to say? What 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 is he feeling? How can I really tell? So let's start with that. Life as a dog. And what are your dogs trying to tell us? Okay, now the one subject that I know that Roman is really good at is talking about what a dog wants and their needs and their spirit. So go, Roman.
Oh man. So let me look at it. I have like two dogs over there and two dogs over here. So the one begs, leave me alone, I'm sleeping. The other one is he doesn't, he just sleeps. The other one is hungry as usually, and the other one on the back, she's kind of chewing on her bone. They're kind of happy. Everybody has his own thing going on. But when we look at dogs, we have to kind of when we say the word dog, we imagine ourselves as the pet dogs that we're talking about. But in reality, this is a small percentage. There are 1.2 billion dogs out there, and we only have in our property about 300,000, 300 millions.
Hmm.
The rest of the dogs are free roaming dogs. So when we look into what dogs like to do, dogs like to be social.
Right.
Dogs like to relate themselves with their environment, with their friends. So they have friends, their family system. They have a family hierarchy system. Let's call it this way. And the let's call them pack leaders are basically family members, father and mother, or usually then we have one or second generation offspring, and they live together in a family system that everybody has the same right. Okay, there is a non-linear system that communicate cross over their family members. However, the eldest one, the most experienced ones, are the one who are basically responsible for what's going to happen. So every dog minds his own business until they want to become social and interact with each other. And
Hmm.
that is being supervised by the most experienced one. How does this interaction go? So when we say it takes a village to raise a dog, it really takes a village. It takes a family to raise a dog. What do dogs want? Dogs want to be safe. Dogs want to be secure. Dogs want to be in abundance. And dogs wants to play because play is the way to learn. And the more they learn, the more likely they will survive. And when they survive, they can, you know, play more. And so from that perspective, what do dogs like to do is they like to learn through play, through social interactions. So our interactions is not just petting and feeding and poop cleaning. It's about teaching the dog how to survive in our very complex society.
Hmm.
And our goal as a parent or as a dog lover or as a pup or whatever you want to call it is to give the dogs tools through games and through interactions, give them morals and ethics so they can survive in our complex environment. Now, our pets, the way we are raising them and the way they're living, it's they have nothing to do with the real dogs that are out there in the desert, in the jungle, in India, in Africa, in Europe, in Greece, in Spain, they're roaming free around. There's a
Yeah.
whole concept. So while at the same time we were looking at learning what dogs do from wolves, the reality is we should learn how dogs behave from dogs. We have 800 million from them to choose from and learn from. So the animal scientific community literally shifts ideas of going away from how dogs behave and what dogs like to do to
Uh-huh.
convey that to the dogs into literally studying dogs in real environments so they can learn from that. Does it answer the question, kind of, sort of?
Yeah. Hi, Ron. That's my brother. Oh, Sebastian, I haven't seen you for so long. That's my bonus son. Hi to Gaetan and to you, Roman. Well, yes, it does answer my question. We lost you, Gaetan, but we
Yeah, I
got you
know.
back.
Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah. Uh, what I'm thinking of is that when dogs they have these wants and they have these needs and they look at us in certain ways and we think that we know what they're talking about if we pay attention to them.
Yeah.
That's the most important key, is it not? We
No,
must
no, it is.
see what it's like a child. If that kid is mom, 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 and you're going, honey, I'll be with you in a minute, just a minute, and you totally ignore them and you put them on the side, that's going to agitate the child. Well, the same thing with the dog, too. The dog wants your attention, and they will go to great lengths to get your attention.
Hmm.
In some cases, very bad behavior, which we don't want to talk about right now, but we do know. So, hey, let's ask you guys this. What does your dog do that you want to know what it means? Because we've got the expert here. We've got Roman that's going to tell you what it is that your dog does. And I think, Dale, you might have something. He's got a new puppy, Hero, and
Oh,
Hero just got neutered and he's got the cone on. He's got and he's trying so hard to have him not have this cone on, but he can go through the door, he can go the doggy door, he can do everything, but he can't play. So that seems to be a real big problem. But what is it? Come to think of it, Roman, what is it that Hero is saying to Dale about this cone on his neck? Does he know it's
do you
there?
have a beep tone? So I went beep, 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 beep.
Well,
Oh,
what is the dog saying when they wear those cones or when they're in pain or they're hurting or they just don't like it. They want to tear it away.
where are my parts? I feel
Oh, where are my parts? I got you. Okay. Whew, right over my head. Yeah. What happened to
um,
it?
dogs always try to create a secure attachment relationship with their owners. And so if there is lack of communication, if there's lack of information coming in, dogs feel insecure. And when they feel insecure, they start being naughty because they want to start controlling things because they don't feel safe about stuff. Now, in that situation where the dog has been through a surgery, it's very confusing for the dog. There are many things that happen to the dog. He went to the vet, vet did things to him without his consent. So we have a consent issue. And then we have meeting strangers issue, especially as a puppy, that kicks in. And dogs do observe body language and they try to make sense of what we do. So dogs don't have a logic like we expect them to have. A child doesn't have a logic because a logic needs a little bit more than just um, memory. But dogs do remember things. So the more often we do things with dogs, the more things they can remember. And remembering is what we want as a parent. So we teach the dog to remember certain gestures, certain routines, and to the point that it becomes a ritual. So we will have greeting morning rituals, we have feeding rituals, we have going for a walk rituals, we have meeting people rituals, we have meeting dog rituals. So all the dogs, all it comes down to the communication is try to understand which part of the ritual am I so I can step right into there. So dogs look at the body language, look at the facial expression, dogs look at the sound, they feel, and all these are parts of dogs communicating. So the communication is not only what we see, because dogs are also intuitive, not intuitive, I would say telepathic. So they send images, they communicate with images. So it's kind of like image knowledge. He remembers, he sees an image and he remembers and compares that image with previous images that he has, and there are studies about that. I can share them in the link. Where the dog learns to recall images faster and faster and compare the database that he has, and that becomes the interactive language. If I say sit, that image has what consequence?
Mm-hmm.
If I do what he asked me to do, when he does that, what is in from him? So we have communication levels that start with me. It's all about me, the dog. I want this, I want that, I want attention. And then we have a we communication. It's about us. And then we have a two-way communication, so where the dog is coming up with his ball and he wants you to throw the ball. So these are ways to communicate, and there are different stages of communication. So not all dogs communicate the same way because not all dogs have been through the same level of communication. Make sense?
Yes, yes, it totally does. So with that, let's look at what dogs are trying to tell us. And this is just a couple of words, and then when I say the words, then we'll talk on it. Okay. So when they talk, when they hear sounds or when they're panting, what is it that they're trying to say to us? It says here that if your dog starts a day speaking, oh no, never mind. It says if your dog starts speaking to you, then talk to him back.
I disagree with that right away on the bot, because if I'm on the phone and a dog tries to bark at me, I don't talk to my back, so we have kind of like a phone dog conversation. That kind of work well. But anyway, I see what they're saying. So if the dog is barking at you, definitely he wants something. Barking is attention seeking. Barking
Yeah.
can be a warning. Barking can be um, attention generally. So we have functional behaviors. So what we're talking about here are functional behaviors, and they are behaviors that are coming naturally, like panting. If a dog is stressed, he will pant. If the dog is in pain, he will pant. If the dog is thirsty, he will pant. He tries to cool himself down. So panting is an alarming signal. I would definitely pay attention to that. Whining is getting the dog's attention. Whining is, I feel discomfort, I feel lonely, I feel not good. Exactly, exactly. And you can come to, if you have a husky, you know exactly what we're talking about here, right?
Oh, they're the big mouths. Yeah.
Okay, we don't
Yeah.
recognize it.
Almost like human. Almost.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what else do we have? What else do they share here?
Okay, hang on here. Oh, you covered the barking part.
Yeah.
Singing, yeah, when they sing, what are they trying to tell us? Which it
Uh,
goes back again to a husky or
Singing
yeah,
is more, let's call it like a group communication. There are dogs even who sneeze to vote, like the wild dogs in Africa sneeze to vote in certain behaviors.
really.
Yeah, yeah, they do. That's actually scientific evidence. But singing,
Achoo!
bless you. Oh, you made a decision. Now the sneezing is
Oh,
like that, and the singing is more over distance communication.
yeah.
So a dog hears a siren, so the dog will howl on that. Body language is a very interesting part, because we have to see the dogs, the way they communicate is giving you multiple signals at the same time. So don't compare it with words. If the hairs are up, hackles up, we have hackles up on the back and hackles up on the end. So these are two different layers. The one is fear of safety, and the other one is fear of territory. So
Okay, which is which now?
the hackles up on the back is more territorial. The hackles on the back end, on the near the tail, is more about fear of safety.
Okay.
So if dogs have both hairs up, the dog is fear of safety in his territory. So he
Okay.
puffs himself up. So these are a couple of things. Tail is a very important thing to do, because we have so many signals on tail. Tail is basically the emotional feedback of the dog. A tail up is confident. A tail kind of low is normal. Below is fearful. So it's
Right,
about
when they
confidence.
tuck their tail
Exactly.
under their
Then we
legs.
have how the tail is wagging. If it's quick wagging, it's nervous. If it's slow wagging, it's calm.
Yeah.
If the tail is wagging on one side, usually it's from their left side, then that is insecure. I feel insecure about the interactions. I'm happy to meet, but I don't feel good about the result of it. Okay, but
Now,
it's a very, it's,
isn't there a telltale sign too with a tail that if a dog is going to be aggressive towards another dog, that their tails get
I
very
would,
stiff?
yeah, still stiff, meaning is the dog is in freeze mode, and that
Okay.
is either or. We don't know. The dog will get stuck there. Okay. Now, what else I want to finish up with the tails is when the tail is wagging in both directions, full range, that is happy. However, happy tail wagging doesn't mean the dog is happy to meet, but the dog is happy to perform. So if the dog is happy to kill the other dog, you will see a happy wagging tail and is happy to get there and do his job.
Yeah,
And he
right.
said when he wagged his tail. You know? Ears are
Okay.
very important. Postures, the front legs, very classic. You ask your dog to sit, and the dog has one paw forward. That means I'm ready to attack your treat. But if the dog has both paws next to each other, then the dog is more patient.
Okay.
Okay, I
All
you said
right.
the posture, but that's part of the posture. That's the conclusion.
Oh, Dale says that Hero is back to normal. He's like a little freight train. Dale, did you take the cone off? Yeah. Okay. And then, well, the head
The
and the
head, a
mouth.
very classic example of communication. If the dog shows avoidant behavior, the first thing he's going to do is the dog will turn his head to the sides. I try to avoid, but the way he avoids it is in the direction he wants to flee. So if he turns to the left, he wants to walk away from the left. He turns to the right, he wants to walk away from the right. If the dog is blocked into two areas and he cannot walk away, he will look on the floor, try to get away. So
Right.
usually head movements try to find escape routes is what we see like negative like fear behaviors. If the dog looks at you, it's not because he wants to dominate you and want to take over your family. It's because he wants to get more information from your face. Dogs, unlike wolves, they take information for facial expression. Happy dog,
Yeah.
sad person. Mouth is very important. A closed mouth, the dog is kind of like waiting to see what's going to happen. Breathe regular, open, soft mouth is where the dog is more confident. If the dog is panting and the tail is hanging out, it's kind of like a little bit concerning. If the tongue actually makes a shovel, that the dog is thirsty and is overheated, for example. If the dog is licking his lips, that, for example, is um, sending information related message. Too much information, not enough information, calming signals that we would consider calming signals. What else do we have? Oh, head
Okay.
position low, head position up. If the dog is curious, we'll have up head. If the dog is low, they want to stay under the radar. That would be triggers.
Okay.
Eyes very clear. We have eyes that, we say the whale eyes. Dogs usually tell you that I want to flee in that direction, but on the other side, I'm going to look at you, see what you're up to, so you're going to have the way eyes because he wants to escape, but he doesn't because there's a problem here. He's stuck.
I
Okay.
gotcha.
Um,
Okay.
Usually, if we have the blinking eyes, try to calm you down. Ear position, whoever has a jammer, you will see that all these ears can function individually. Ears back is I want to protect my ears. I'm going to stay off the system. Ears forward, I'm curious. Then you have also the wrinkles that go together with the ears. Ears up and wrinkles meaning that I'm
Yeah.
about to. Um,
Well,
yeah,
when you do when you scold a dog or whatever, and they've
ears
got
back.
that, oh, and then their eyes are closed, like, oh, not me, not me,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
me.
I don't believe in scolding dogs because the dog does not can associate
Yeah. Do
after
you
20
think you do
seconds.
that,
No.
Gaetan?
Excuse me. I'm sorry, I was distracted.
I know. I've been watching you.
Yeah, I
Are
was
we bo-
listening.
are we boring you?
Bad boy.
Okay. All right. No, I just wanted to know when you get upset, do you close your eyes and do you squint real hard? Yeah. Okay. Getting back on
Not really.
subject here. Uh, Dale says that Hero. Oh, he just said that, but no, he maybe not yet. He hasn't taken the cone off, but maybe tomorrow. Okay, and then I think that's it on this. You did a video that I think was very, very good. That let's share that. Okay,
Oh, that
Roman.
dog. That's a cool. Let me show you a quick story. So that dog is kind of attacking runners, attacking dogs on the run. And so our goal was to start working with excitement and engagement control. Excitement and engagement control is for the dog to help calm down after he gets excited, so that excitement and disengagement curve is kind of more flatter and not so high and alert. Um, and that was the second visit that I did on that dog. And our goal is to help the dog focus on general body posture and general intuitive messages like picture sending. So what I would do here on that dog, and he's very smart, and that's why I like that video, because he is not thinking, he's perceiving information and makes the right conclusion, and I instantly reward him for making the right choices. So
Okay,
it's all about timing, it's all about communication, non-verbal communication with my non-body language. Not saying anything until the dog offers an alternative behavior, and then I would reward that. So let's watch that. It's kind of interesting.
okay, all right. Let's watch it.
Maybe you want to put the noise down a little bit, so I can do kind of like a voice over.
Okay, all
The
right.
sound on the video kind of like halfway. Yeah, that will work.
Okay, there you go.
I don't think you have a voice at all. Maybe you want to kind of put it up again and activate the voice when you share the screen. Oh, here we go. So here we go. That's what he does. He gets super excited. And you see every time that I move my hands, and he knows that I have a treat, and he will get the treats when he does something alternative. So now you can see that he has his front legs, paws, and as soon as his paws are next to each other, which is patience, I will reward him. I don't reward non-patience, I reward patience. Now I'm triggering him again, and then I stop the trigger and I wait him to calm down again. Boom. And here we go. Now the problem is that he's not aligned to me, so we're not talking the same language. I want him to align to me to reward. So I'm not rewarding him for being in misalignment. I'm rewarding him for getting in alignment. So, and I'm not saying anything. So if you put the voice up, you will see there is no interaction, voice interaction. Get away from me. Give me space. Calm down. Now, what do you think is going to happen next? Because he got so excited about stuff, and I wanted him to give me a signal that he's calmer than before. And see how he will give me a paw, he will try to give me a paw, he will try to nose my treats.
Very cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Now he has to come up with a plan how to get that reward. And he's thinking.
He's thinking, yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, I want those treats though. I have to do something in exchange. Like, what do you want me to do? Oh, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm going about to, maybe I should lay down for it. Maybe that will help.
Yeah.
Give it a shot. Here you go. Okay, but he offered that on himself. I never told him to lay down. I never told him to sit. It was a non-verbal communication, all
Right.
about body language and posture and time sensitive reward.
Very good. Do you want the sound on?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
No, we didn't. It hasn't spin yet. Good. 2 shakes. 1, 2. Good job. Now his owner will laugh because he's never seen that before. Have the game. This is the rule, and then we have different versions of that rule. Rule number 1. Rule number 2. The first one is calm down. If you calm down, then we can have some follow-up. Come on. Ready? Go get it. Come. Sit. Shake. Good. 2 shakes. Yes. Good job. That dog never been obedient. All we created, establish a relationship right there on the spot, and start working. But I knew he wants to shake a paw because he showed me that already, so I used that. as the next game. So
Very
when I
good.
gave him the paw, I called what he already wanted to do. So we were in time, we were synchronized.
Yeah.
So his goal is to continue the game, which is fun. And the reason why I stopped is because of these two factors.
Whining,
They're persistent,
yawning, calming messages.
clear.
Now he's calming himself down because he knows I'm not going to continue the game because it gets too rough about it.
Mm-hmm.
And he remembered the previous thing. So now the memory comes back in. I did something that worked in the past. I'm going to do that. What kind of treats do I use? I use regular freeze-dried treats that are not slimy and picky, but they have a huge flavor and everything, of course, holistic and organic.
Okay, so now he's getting he's calming down, but you could see he's getting a little bit nervous there. And
Right? You see all these alternative behaviors that he shows until he
yeah,
lays down again. But after that, you see that he's much calmer. So
yeah.
he learned to calm himself down. I had a hard time triggering him.
And there he goes. Yeah, just
Yeah, you
very
can see
nice.
how soft he
So
gets.
that's the connecting with him. That's the telepathic part.
Right.
Yeah,
You
because
see?
you're able to connect with him on a spiritual level, and you can connect right into his brainwave, and he knows. He
Right.
knows.
Once you synchronize to that level, you really can start talking.
Yes, right. Yeah,
And that's the second session. And
very, very good. Very good.
yeah,
Well done.
thank you, Sharon. That was good.
Good job. Yeah. Good. Yeah.
And so the dog performs better once you have that connection
Right.
because he does it for the relationship. And so
Yeah.
far, I only give him the treats to reward him for following through. I didn't lure him to do anything.
The different versions of it.
Yeah. Hey, to my brother Ron is. I hope Barbara's watching this so that you guys can teach Chloe. Very good.
So rough housing, yes, but don't let it kick in his prey drive.
So we created that upper limit.
Prey drive
All
is
you have to do is stop.
eventually grabbing, which also can switch into sex drive, grabbing, humping, smarting. But it has two versions. Looks the same, but it's not really. You have to see the difference how it starts.
So non-action
Goes to the front leg.
is also a message. If you don't move, you freeze, you send a message of discomfort, and the
Yeah.
dog is being called to troubleshoot the situation. So if
Now-
the dog is mouthing you or jumping on you, all you have to do is not moving.
Do you have eye contact here?
Yeah,
That's
Okay.
and that's a weight.
but not intimidating. My body posture is not like that. It's kind of
Yeah.
like fair game.
Good. Now, one thing you can do is you can help him recognize your body language better. So you're gonna work with him a little bit on the leash, but inside the house. Okay.
Yeah, that's just more blah blah.
Okay, so we're done.
Yeah, we're done.
Okay.
That's very impressive.
Yes, that was very good. Did you see what Dale said? He says, "We caught you sleeping, Gaetan."
No, that was his calming message.
Yeah. And my brother says, "Chloe, who?" He's not acknowledging the dog, I guess. Speaking of that, now you did a video, Gaetan, and we're going to show that at the end. But I wanted to show my Charlie because Charlie, he lets us.
Charlie.
Yeah, if you've never met my Charlie, he lets us know or lets me know exactly what he thinks. So I'm going to share my Charlie here so that you guys can see him. Okay, here we go.
This is my mom and me. Yeah, she's a pretty good woman. She takes really good care of me, but the real truth is that I take care of her. She hasn't been well for quite a while now, so every day is a real challenge, but I make sure that she gets out and that she gets exercise and that she eats really good. You know how I know if she eats real good? because I get to eat everything that she does, which is a real big treat for me. So when it comes to the things that go on during the nighttime, well, sometimes my mom has a hard time sleeping, but I'm always there. You know what I do? I jump on her stomach, I push her, I make certain that my back is up against her back, I come up on her neck, I kiss her face, and then sometimes I let her sleep. But all in all, she's a really good person. So, do you take care of your mom like I take care of mine? Well, if you want to know how, I'll teach you.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, yeah. He's a good little boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now, one last question before we go. What can we do to help people learn what their dogs are telling us? Now, we know that when a dog wants to go to the bathroom, they either go to the door, or they kind of let us know, and we're attuned to that. But what are some of the things that we usually aren't attuned to that we really should be? Because if your dog isn't feeling good, for instance, and you realize that, gee, they're not acting themselves, what are the things that could happen? Well, they could poop in the house because they have diarrhea. They're not feeling well. There are things that happen, that they might have something that's caught in their throat. They might go out and eat grass. That gives you a sign that there's something going on in their stomach. So what are the things that we should be paying attention to that we don't?
Well, as a parent, we have to create a baseline. How does my dog behave? So observing the dog in all the time, just like you would observe a child under 5 years old. How do you know a child is different? They don't know. He says, I don't feel good. What does it hurt you? He doesn't have a knowledge to tell you my belly aches because he doesn't know what the belly is. It could be the digestive system. It could be the spleen. They don't know. So we have to observe how the dog looks like normal. So when you get a dog, the first day, the first time you have your dog, go to the vet, make sure the dog is healthy and is free of parasites and he has healthy food, nutritional rich food. And then you observe how does my dog behave throughout the day? How does he wags his tail if I show him that? How does he wags his tail if I show him this? And how does he lay down? What is his safe place? And usually my suggestion is if a dog goes to a safe place and is not acting normal, that's the first signal that something going on. My dog tries to tell me I'm not feeling well. And if that happens, if my dog is on the bed and is not showing regular behaviors, everybody has to be warned. Stay away from the dog. I'm calling the vet. I'm making an appointment.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
rule of thumb. Most people ignore that signal. Oh, my dog is poor dog. What's going on with you there? Well, he's going to his bed because he wants to be left alone. If he wanted attention, he would come to you.
Right.
Okay? So we see children imitate parents. So we see the children go to the dog and try to comfort the dog, and they get a bite in the face. 400,000 children get hurt every year because they don't pay attention what the dog is trying to tell them.
Right.
Plus the 3.2 million people. We're not talking about that right now.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
The other thing that we see is if the dog is free feeding, we don't know how much food he's eating. If we don't have a regulation on that, we don't know what the dog is trying to tell us, that he left his food this morning, so he doesn't feel good this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? If we have multiple dogs and everybody grazes out of the same food bowl, we don't know who dog is sick. If I don't clean up after my food, who tells us I have diarrhea, I have parasites, I have blood in my stool, something is going on with me, I'm eating my poop. You will never see that. So the dog is trying to tell you because of what he does, but you
Why
don't see
dogs?
it.
Why do dogs eat their poop?
Well, that's a whole story here.
Okay. Well, we'll do that on a different
Yeah.
show.
Um,
Okay.
and the other thing that we need to look for is if dogs are growling. Growling is not a message I'm going to kill you. Growling is I feel discomfort of what's happening in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
So messages like that has to be taken seriously, not from a perspective my dog is aggressive, Is my dog is trying to tell me something.
Mm-hmm.
What did he eat yesterday? Is he hurt? Does he limp? I have to remember all these things. So we have
Mm-hmm.
to be conscious in present time and not all over the place. Just
Yeah.
because the dog is fine and is there every morning with us doesn't mean we need don't to pay attention on the dog.
And the other thing too is, folks, people do our dogs do have temper tantrums too. They do have mood
Oh yeah,
swings. They do
of
have
course.
all kinds of things. So if they're having that, sometimes Charlie has a hissy fit sometimes, and then I realize, oh, he's just having a hissy fit.
Mhm.
That's
So
it.
for example, a classic example, dogs not liking their food.
Yeah.
People says, "Oh, my dog doesn't like his food. I would put some toppers on top." Well, he eats the toppers. He doesn't like the food. Dogs are very self-conscious about how they feel about stuff. If the food does create him a discomfort, he tries to avoid it. But if I keep my dog hungry, at the end he will eat it anyway. It doesn't mean the dog is fine.
Yeah.
My goal
Right.
is not the dog to eat the food; it's my dog to be healthy.
Right.
So
Right.
shifting nutritions and paying attention to schedules. Like if the weather changes, my dog doesn't eat. I know the weather changes because my dog doesn't eat, for example.
Okay. All right. So Gaetan, let's show your video that you did.
Oh, it's a very modest video.
Okay.
It's not the quality I was hoping for, but I was trying to capture expression of dogs, facial expression.
Good.
So it's it's called Ma vie de chien, my dog life.
Okay. Go ahead. Play it. It's Charlie.
For some reason, the music is not very loud. I don't know why. Too fast. But I did wrong. Stay still. That's it.
Great
So,
video, right?
well, I was every time I was looking at a different dog there, I was thinking to myself, that dog is trying to tell us something, right? So really, every time your dog is looking at you, for whatever reason, they're telling you something, and it's up to you to try and figure out what that is.
Mhm.
And if you're really good at it, and if you can connect with them, at the heart level, at the spiritual level, at the telepathic level, you'll be able to understand what your dog is trying to say to you.
They usually send images. So you just
Right.
have to kind of be open to that. If the dog sends you an image of thirst, it's not something pops up in your screen, on your main screen. It's something that comes into your mind as like thirst, empty ball, problem outside. These
Yeah.
are the messages that you get. So you have to start trusting it
Right.
and
Yeah.
listen.
Maybe in one word things, outside, ball,
And it's
play,
usually an
food.
emotional picture. It's not Frank, the neighbor, is coming over to take our couch.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you that if Charlie's water bowl is empty, he lets me know. You know how he lets me know? He's over there banging that bowl all over, running with his nose, running it all over the kitchen floor. And then, okay, I get it.
No
Okay.
comment.
Yeah. My brother says, eat, play, and poop. That's it. That's what they do. Yeah. All right. Well, this was a great show. Thanks again, everyone, for watching the show. And we will see you next week. Bye.
Be well.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Okay. Bye.